Thank you. Roll call, please. Mr. Einig, Ms. Hirsch, and Mr. Montano are all excused. Mr. Dubois?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here.
Mr. Soto?
Here.
Mr. Wolf?
Here.
And Chairwoman Ferrante.
Here. Also present tonight, Meg Green, our recording secretary, and Stephen Harris, our zoning enforcement officer. Okay, starting with item number 1, Mr. King.
6 Warren Drive, MPP 29/564/2, R-5, Thomas Lynch Esquire for Exceptional Home Improvements, LLC, owner. Vary Section 3.1.4.1, East Side Yard Setback to 7.4-1.8, where 10-foot required. 4.1.4 deck projection to 5.5 feet, where 8 permitted, and rear yard deck projection to 13.8, where 16 permitted. To construct new single-family home, survey by P. Stowell, 11/18/2025.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Just for the record, my name is Thomas Lynch, and I'm an attorney with the law firm Lynch, Trimbicki, and Boynton, and my office is located here in Milford at 63 Cherry Street. And I'm here tonight with my client, Sana Naz. Sana and her brother are the principals of Exceptional Home Improvements. I've done a number of projects for them in the area, and they build beautiful homes, and hopefully this will be one of them. We're before you with an application basically to vary the side yard setbacks and the rear yard with the deck projection as well to construct a new residence at 6 Warren Drive. So I hope everybody took a drive out. You saw where the property is. It's located in Bayview Beach area. It's a zone classification R5. This is an area where, as I was putting together my presentation, I basically went through the neighborhood, and I've probably had about 15 to 18 clients who have basically done the same thing here, is buy beach cottages on narrow, non-conforming lots in the R5 zone. This property is a lot on a 1918 map of Bayview Beach. It's a non-conforming lot because the zone classification calls for a minimum lot size of 5,000 square feet, and this lot is 3,200 square feet. The zone also calls for a minimum lot width of 50 feet, and there's only 37 feet provided. So what we've designed here, the architect has designed a 24-foot wide house, which is consistent with many of the other houses in the Bayview area that have been approved on non-conforming lots. The house itself is being situated on the lot where basically there's a similar side yard of 5 feet to 7 feet on each side. The previous small cottage that I don't think it's been demolished yet. The cottage that was there was built in 1915. It consisted of 2 bedrooms and 660 square feet. If you look at Paul Stowell's map he has on the left side, if Stephen can scroll that over, that was the existing condition with the setbacks. It was basically right on top of the property line on the westerly property line with a 7-foot setback off the east property line. If you push the map over, we now see where we're locating the new house and sort of centering it as best as possible on the lot with similar side yard setbacks on each side. There's a 12 by 14 deck that's designed to be built on the back because it's a 2-level house. The main living space, with the house being elevated, of course, in the AE zone, the main living space is elevated. So without a patio, we're seeking a reasonably sized deck off the back, and that necessitates that variance for the projection into the to the rear yard. The floor plans have also been provided for you, if Stephen can scroll through those. Again, it's as you can see, a very attractive house. Basically 2,800 square feet in living space, 2 levels, garage on the lower level with the breakaway walls. This is in the AE zone. We are going to have to appear before the Planning and Zoning Commission for a CAM approval. So there'll be another administrative review of this to make sure that all the FEMA requirements are met. But there'll be a garage on the first level and then 2 levels of living space above, a very open floor plan on the first floor with a kitchen, living area going out to the deck and an office. And then on the second floor, there'll be 4 bedrooms. There'll be a master bedroom suite at the rear of the house and then 3 additional bedrooms towards the front. So that's the basics of the application. Again, the hardship lies in the narrow configuration of the lot. The house is, again, reasonably sized. It's in conformity with all the other houses in the area that have been granted variances by this board. I was just before you probably twice in the last 6 months at 24 Bayshore and 28 Bayshore Drive with similar applications. And this house will be consistent with the real renovation, good renovation that's been going on in the area, really improving that whole area of Bayview. So my client is here with me. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to entertain them. Thanks.
Thank you. The back deck, can you tell me again how far out it projects? It's 12 by 14, you said?
12 by 14, it has a 13-foot setback from the rear of the deck to the property line.
But that 14 feet off the house, does that include the stairs?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Additional, I think 3 feet for the stairs. Right.
Okay. Any other questions?
One curiosity, Tom.
Can I rephrase what I just said? Because
Okay.
Stephen was enlarging Stephen, can you zoom that up? All right, so it appears that the 13 feet runs from the measurement of the stairs to the back boundary line. So that's the setback with the stairs.
Right.
Right. And there's a 20-foot principal structure setback in that zone requirement.
Mr. Wolf?
Yeah, the 5.5 is for where the property line gets cut in the far
Correct.
back, you get it cut in.
Right.
And it was like that originally on the Bayview plot plan in 1908.
Yes.
It was jogged.
Yeah, this is a weird lot down in that area.
I see
Yeah.
that. Curiosity.
The adjacent property has a portion of, again, Stephen, I hate to bother you to work the cursor. Yeah, at the original house. So Chris, a lot of times down in Bayview or East Broadway, you had like combination of lots. So if you look at the back of the residence that's located right next door, and we did have an opportunity to chat with some of the neighbors. I apologize. One of the neighbors who's here may be the owner of the property to the east of the site. But there's a jog in the lot, that, and that's typical. You see a lot of rear detached garages and things down in Bayview that they just sort of jammed in there back in the old days on those additional parcels.
I get, yeah.
Yep.
Very similar.
Yep.
You mentioned 38 Bayview, is that one that was approved?
28 and 24 Bayview.
All-
Bayshore, sorry. 28
Right.
and 24 Bayshore, across the street on the water.
Both approved and complete?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
No, they're under construction.
All right, I'm sorry. Correct.
There were other ones on the odd side of both Bayshore and Melba Street that have gotten similar variances to this, and they're completed. Bayshore Drive runs up to the Marsh Tidewater where the bridge is that runs out to the sound. So it's Bay Shore up to that bridge, and then on the other side of the bridge, it's Melville Street.
Mr. King?
Good evening, Attorney Lynch. How are you?
Hi, Andy, good.
Is there enough room for parking in the front?
Not much. That's why we have and some of the neighbors, they may come up and speak. They were concerned about parking, and they were very happy to see that this house has a two-car garage, taking cars off parking on the street.
Did you say two-car?
It's a two-car garage, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Is there off-street parking currently?
Well, you can, but it gets jammed down there. In other words, there's no restriction for parking, or they may have,
No, I mean the
I
house.
thought, okay.
The house in question, is there, I mean, it comes pretty close to the street as it exists.
Right.
So there's no garage there, there's no room for off-street parking?
The existing cottage?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no parking there.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Okay, is there anyone speaking in favor of this application? Is there anyone opposed to this application? Please come forward one at a time and state your name and address for the record, and you can make your statement.
My name is Don Persett. I live at 12 Orland, which abuts on the east side. I was originally under the impression that when they were going to build on this property, it was going to be required to conform to the current footprint. Getting these letters, I see that they don't want to do that. They want to extend, which is sort of understandable. However, it's really a huge house. There's no question. This is a monster. Not just for some information, on 6 Warren, the original house, the lot size is 0.07 acres. And the original gross building square footage was 816. And the gross living square footage was 650. Now, our house, which is was on the side, we're on 0.19 acres. And my gross building square footage is just under 2,400. And my gross living square footage is 1,400 square feet. The house they want to build on the 0.07 is going to be 3,000 plus square feet. So it's obviously pretty big. When we start out, I have some things here we went over, just discussing part of it, the driveway. It's supposed to be 12 feet, or is currently 12 feet, as we understand. They've asked to set it back to 10 feet, which, as I just discussed, there's no on-street parking. I understand that the owners will be able to park underneath, but if you're having company, you have no place to park. Now, the previous owner owned a lot across the street, so parking was never an issue on Warren Drive, if you're familiar with it, just a tiny little street. So I see that as a problem, whether the driveway is 10 or 12 feet, that's an issue for parking purposes. Now, the real problem here, in my opinion, is this variance for the setback. When I originally looked at the drawings and I read the original letter, they said it was going to be a roughly 7.5 foot setback is what they were looking for. They were looking to get, instead of 10 feet, they wanted to come out 7.5. Now, the current house, as near as I can tell in measurements, it's a little house, and it never came more than 8 feet out, so it's 8 feet. But the problem is, it's not 7.4 feet all the way back, which is what we originally thought. By the time you get to the end of where the house is, it's only 1.8 feet from our property line. I mean, this house is angled and just keeps getting closer to our property. Now, we have a fence back there, it's property, and I'm very concerned how we're going to build without messing with the property itself. I'm sure the builder's excellent, et cetera, but that doesn't really change the issue that you're giving me 2 feet at the back of your property. It looks like they just want to build a giant house. I understand, I hear what they're saying. This is what they're doing in Bayview, but this is not that kind of a lot. It's not like you're on the beach. You're in this little street. Houses are all set up. Now they want to put this monster in there, and it's just so big. And another thing I didn't understand, I read the information, and as I understand it, that property, or maybe all property in Milford, you can cover 65% of your property. The remaining has to be left uncovered, I guess is the term. And these folks say they're going to cover 44%, so they're under that limit. But I don't understand, if you look at the house, if you look at the drawings, you won't see anything except house unless you're behind the house. So all you're going to ever see there is just a house, a very large house. It obviously encroaches on our side. I know that they're planning, they have to put a sewer line in, we know that, everybody knows that. I'm not sure where they're gonna connect that sewer to the house. Certainly, if they come down our side, they're gonna rip up what little grass they have there. And again, we have fences and everything there, so I don't see how they can dig it. We signed into the sewer probably 40 years ago, and when they dug up our yard, it was a big project, run that line out into the street. So I guess my bottom line of this is, this house encroaches on everybody, on our property. And I understand, that there's this, you want a nice house, I get it, but that you knew the size of that lot when you bought it. It's a tiny lot, and this house is not a tiny house. And I'm against these variances. I can't see allowing them to come within 2 feet of our property line just to build this house. You could certainly build a nice house on that lot that doesn't encroach as much on us as this one does. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mark Provenzano, 45 Bayshore Drive, Extension, Milford. I went down to planning and zoning while this property was still on the market. I had some passing interest in it. I went and spoke with, I don't know who, I don't think it was Stephen, but my question was, by right, what can I do with this property to rebuild? And I thought I was told you can build the same footprint, you can't enlarge the footprint, you can put a second floor on it, you might be able to move it back a little bit, and you could do that by right without any variances. Is that correct?
I've had several conversations with different people about this piece of property, but, generally speaking, one can replace a non-conforming building like for like. If you want to build something different and you need variances, then you have to ask for them.
Correct. But my point was, I think the square footage could have been doubled with a second floor as long as you don't expand the footprint. No? Okay.
No.
So it could have been rebuilt as is, existing?
The current house can be rebuilt where it is as it is.
Okay. So
A second floor would have also required a variance.
a variance. Okay. So there was an ability to build a new structure there, obviously small, without any variances. So is this kind of a self-inflicted hardship where they're asking for something beyond what they have the right to build? If it's self-inflicted, I don't know how, does it carry as much weight as other types of hardship? Because they bought it, they knew what they could do there by right, and now they're asking for things beyond that, which is fine. And I'm not against this proposal. I'm against it maybe as it's proposed. Couple of concerns are the mass size of the house just seems a little bit out of character with the neighborhood for such a small lot. I mean, the square footage of the total house is about the same as the square footage as the whole lot, which is very unusual. And I think, Attorney Lynch's reference to the houses on the water, I think that's a little bit different than what we're dealing with here. Those houses on the water years ago were well established to be that close together. this is not apples to those. It's a narrow street. I go down it probably 2-3 times a day coming back from in town. One of the concerns, and there again, I just think it needs to be scaled back a little bit and it's acceptable to me, not so overpowering of the lot. The existing house had a front yard setback of 12.2 feet, and they're proposing a 10-foot setback from the front yard. So there's able to park 2 cars, I guess, underneath in the garage. Now, any neighbor, or people that would come and visit would be expected to be able to park in front of the garage on the driveway. Right? You have a driveway. The best-selling car in the country for the last several years is a Ford F-150. So any visitors will have more of a chance of showing up in an F-150 than any other vehicle sold. The typical crew cab F-150 with a short bed, which is not the large construction size, is 20 feet 3 inches long. So is it reasonable to ask, maybe make a house that's 2,500 square feet, give another 5 or 8 feet off the street, push it back a little bit, so there is some off-street parking for today's commonly used vehicles. I think and the same thing with the setback, or the side yard setbacks going from 10 to down to 4.8 at the far inward corner. Don't transfer someone's hardship, they're again maybe self-inflicted because of the want they build, to a neighbor. Don't make it their hardship, which I think that kind of does, allowing it to be that close. You have a responsibility to weigh the balances of what's fair between the builder, the owner, and existing owners that have been there for a long time. And so there's be hardships that go around, and let's be fair with how we deal with that. One's hardship doesn't transfer too much to somebody else that's already been living there a long time. The only thing I think of is that house was not on a sewer, I don't believe. So back then, and there's no room for leaching fields, it probably has a cesspool in the backyard. I don't know if that's established or not, but without a sewer, I don't know, would the attorney know that? They'll have to hook up, no, absolutely. But there's, a 100-year-old cesspool in there. Would there be any requirements with the building department to have some oversight by either them or the health department that it's properly disposed of, instead of just buried as is? So in closing, I'm against it as it's proposed. I think with some reasonable adjustments, it's a wonderful thing, and I'd like to welcome new neighbors in that want to invest money in the property, but just, don't be, I don't want to say run roughshod, but have a little more respect for people that have been here a long time. Thank you.
Thank you. If you would like to make a statement in opposition, please come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, and then you can make your statement.
Paul Jocelyn, 7 Warren Street in Milford. And I've been living there for over 25 years. And I've done some remodeling of a house, and so I understand coming here. I've been here twice, actually, for the remodels. And I was kind of asking for a 5-foot deck because I had glass doors that opened up into a 3-foot drop in the house that I bought. And I was very scrupulous about trying to maintain myself in the footprint of the house. And for those 25 years that I've lived here, I was always under the impression that if you wanted to tear down a house and rebuild it, you had to do some crazy things like stick with the footprint, leave half a wall standing up, and do some crazy things to get it approved. I was here a couple of weeks ago for another house that they're building down on the water. And from a 1,500 square foot cottage on the water, they went to 4,500 square feet. This house is going from 600 or 700 square feet, whatever it is, to what, 2,500? 2,800? Okay. And each house required going beyond the footprint, going very close to the property line on each side, and just making a wall of houses. Is that what we want for Bayview, our beach community, our town? Just a wall of houses where you can't see between one and the other? So I guess I have a question for the P&Z, Planning and Zoning. Each of those houses are going to quadruple the revenue to the city in taxes. Does anybody think about, is that what it's all about? Is it all about the money? Or do we have a plan? What is the plan that you guys have for my community? I live in Bayview. I love Bayview. I love Milford. What do you guys want my town to look like? You make the decisions that we have to live with. We, the citizens of Milford, have to live with the decisions that you make about what our community is going to look like. I have no problem with, the house was a shack. I knew the owner of it intimately, okay? Nice guy, all right? This is a beautiful house, but it's also a huge house. And it's also requiring you to make a decision about my life, what my quality of life is going to be in my community. I have nothing against this lovely lady, okay? I want to know what you guys are going to do for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else speaking in opposition tonight?
Just for the record, there were 2 emails expressing opposition to the project that were received this afternoon.
Okay, thank you. Nobody else speaking in opposition? Mr. Lynch?
Thank you. I always appreciate neighbors' comments. I just want to respond to the neighbors' comments. And first of all, I don't think a 2,800 square foot house is a monstrous house. I don't think that it's out of line with the other houses that have been built in the neighborhood. They've all been built on non-conforming lots. Mr. Provenzano spoke about the front yard setback was 10 feet or 12 feet from the other house, and now it's 10 feet. Well, that's what's the required setback in the zone, so we meet that. And comments about how, again, that the house is overpowering, it meets all the building and lot coverage requirements. So I go back to my comments that I made to you in my presentation, that I think that this is consistent with what's going on in the area. This is a house that will be in conformity with the area. The setbacks, as I said to you, the existing house, the last gentleman, or the first gentleman that spoke said that this house would taper back, so it would be 1.8 feet from his property line. Well, number one, we're going to have a fence up, so that would address that. But secondly, the existing house is 1.8 feet from the other owner's property line. So what we've tried to do in designing the house is to center it on the lot so that there's equal side yard setbacks on each side. So I stand by the comments that I made to you originally. Happy to adhere to whatever the board's feeling is on it. If it's the feeling of the board that they would prefer to see some sort of a modification of the plan, then I'd rather that you not deny it. I'd rather that you have discussion amongst yourselves, give us some guidance, and then keep this open, and maybe we can address your comments.
So the owner would be open to modifications?
If the board feels that that's necessary.
Okay. I mean, obviously, you know that you've been in front of us enough to know that we take community feedback pretty seriously.
I do. But I also, these people are okay, They really are, because there's been feedback from neighbors that have been here, and it's been the Tower of Babel, and it makes no sense, and that's a different story for a different meeting. I hear what these folks are saying, and it's a tight area. It's a tight area. But to rebuild, I'm not accepting the comment of, knock down the house and rebuild what was there. We can't, that's not reasonable. This is a 660 square foot house that's there now. Stephen, correct me, isn't the minimum standard now 675 square feet for single family?
It's actually less than that.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, what we want to do is build something that's reasonable, and my clients are going to be living there too. This is not a spec house. This is not something that they're putting up for speculation. So,
Well, I understand that.
so they're going to be neighbors with these folks.
I understand that the house as proposed is a very big change from what was existing, and that can be startling. However, I will confirm, as you said, that the lot coverage, the height, the front yard, none of those are in question here tonight. Those are all within acceptable, those are within regulation.
And if I can jump in, by providing a two-car garage, you're adding 2 off-street parking spaces, which aren't there now.
Right, I believe there was a comment about people parking in a lot across the street that was, I mean, that's, unfortunately, that comment just doesn't have any standing here because they are 2 separate lots that can be owned independently. And yes, I do believe this proposal is an improvement in providing off-street parking. Yes, I do believe there are some hardships that we will discuss. However, the lot is much deeper than the required minimum. So maybe there's some room for improvement there, if the owner would be so open to that. However, does the board have any more questions for Attorney Lynch?
Well, we can't discuss it till we close the hearing, and if we close the hearing, he can't come back next month. But, I mean, I do appreciate your, personally, Tom, I do think the house is a little oversized. It maybe could be dropped down 200 square feet to keep the neighbors happy. That's what I would like to see. If you want to keep the hearing open, I'm in no objection to that.
Okay.
What we have, from what I heard, this 1.8, which is the tight corner on that jog, is next to an adjacent garage, not a property.
Right. And again, a fence is going to go up, and I don't know how much we can do with that, Chris, because the house width of 24 feet, that's pretty minimal. So in other words, it's just the way that it's situated on the lot, the way it angles back at the far corner of it, it then ends up being only 1.7. I don't think we can do much with that.
In a quick look in the neighborhood too, I'm not seeing other lots with that cut out there.
Yeah, right.
Had that been a fully rectangular lot. So, yeah, we can close the hearing, we can move to a vote. There's been a little bit of discussion right now. I don't know if you would prefer to keep the hearing open.
I think I'd prefer to keep the hearing open. I'm reading or hearing what I'm hearing. So why don't we do that?
Okay. I do think that the west side yard setback is obviously an improvement.
Right.
Personally, I think maybe pulling up the length of the house a little bit, eliminating the rear yard variance requests.
And I'm going to make an editorial comment, and I hope the neighbors take it for what it's worth, is that this is going to be a beautiful house. And when this house is done, it's probably going to be valued at about $1.5 million. And that's going to enhance the neighborhood, and that has an effect on everyone in the neighborhood. So I think that that's something that people need to think a little bit about too. So,
Thank you.
all right, thanks.
Do we need a motion to keep the hearing open?
Yes?
I make a motion to keep the hearing open to next month.
Second?
All in favor?
And
Aye.
And Tom, one last comment was, that 1.8 feet, if you shorten that whole house up, and that would increase.
That's going to reduce the angle. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Continue to next month.
Okay, thanks for your consideration.
Yep.
Thanks.
Item number 2, Mr. King.
61-63 Hawley Avenue, MBP 71/767/7, R-5. Ferenic and Allison Vazo, owners. Varies section 3.1.4.1 front yard setback to 9.65 feet, where 20 required. 6.3.2 expansion of a non-conforming structure for addition. Survey by R. Plain, 8/12/2025.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, board members of the board. My name is Ferenc.
Sir, can you just bring that microphone up a little bit more?
Sorry.
Thank you.
My name is Ferenc Bojo. Unfortunately, my wife is in school today, so she couldn't come. We live at 6163 Hawley Avenue, and we are asking for a variance to bring out the second floor straight with the first floor, which is an existing structure. We are not changing the footprint of the house, and we're trying to update the house. The house is over 100 years old. We have no closets upstairs. We have one bathroom for the entire house, which needs update. And I have soon-to-be 2 teenagers that need some space for clothing and other items. We are, as I said, we are only bringing the house out straight with the first floor. So we are not coming anywhere closer to the street.
Okay, so the second floor currently has dormers on the front and back, right?
Correct.
Which brings the roof line in a little bit from the first floor, on the second floor.
Correct.
So we're just going straight up on the first floor?
Correct.
With an attic roof line, it looks like, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So the roof line has to be changed because the second floor is, I think, 3/4.
3/4, and we're going to a full second floor?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
I do have 4 letters supporting the variance by our neighbors, if I may approach to give
Sure.
it to you.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good, sir.
Hope I didn't butcher your last name too badly.
It's quite all right, sir.
This is a single-family home, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the double address, what's that about?
It's been double address. It's a double lot. We have the house is on number 63, and we have a playground for the entire neighborhood kids and the other one. So they come and play ball, and it's literally for kids to play. So we are not trying to change that.
Okay.
My
And just to
wife-
confirm, you're not expanding the footprint whatsoever?
We're only putting a little bit in the back, but not the front. In the back, I think there is a small 5-foot addition towards the back, which does not require a variance.
Okay.
My wife grew up in the neighborhood, 6 houses from there. She's been there for 40 years, and we're not planning on moving either.
All right, thank you.
So, thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, is there anyone speaking in favor of this application? We do have the 4 emails, thank you.
Barbara Wagner, representing the Board of Ward and Burgesses in Woodmont, the Borough of Woodmont, and we are in favor of this project. I have
Thank you so much.
So I don't think you need me to read it, right? Okay.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, we see no problem in this project. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else speaking in favor of this application? Is there anyone opposed to this application? Okay, any other questions for the applicant? All right, this hearing is closed. Mr. Soto?
I move to approve the request to vary section 3.1.4.1, front yard setback to 9.65 feet where 20 feet required, 6.3.2, expansion of a non-conforming structure for addition, surveyed by R Plane, 8/12/25.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve in a second. All right, we have 5 letters of support for this application, no opposition. Footprint is staying the same. The height's going up, I think, 2 feet according to this, which is still well within regulation. I don't have a problem with this. Footprint's the same.
I don't have a problem with it either.
I don't have a problem with it either. It looks like it'll be an improvement on the neighborhood, and looks like all of his neighbors are fully supporting him as well. I'm seeing very close addresses that are in approval of him.
Okay, great. We'll take it to a vote then. Mr. Dubois?
With the motion.
Mr. King?
With the motion?
Mr. Soto?
With the motion.
Mr. Wolf?
With the motion.
I'm with the motion. The motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your valuable time.
Good luck with your project, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 3. Mr. King.
109 Green Meadow Road, MBP 108/836/120, R-18, Jeff Adelino, owner. Vary section 4.1.4, front projection to 33.5 feet where 36 feet permitted. To construct a front porch, survey by P. Stoll, 10/20/25.
Jeff Adelino, 136 Research Drive. Pretty simple. I'm looking to build a front porch on the house. We need to get a variance for about 3 feet, it looks like here. I don't think originally I was going to try and build a front porch across the whole front of the house, but I scaled it down to kind of fit into the neighborhood a little bit and not ask for such a big variance. So, pretty simple.
Wonderful, thank you. So I see you're going to be remodeling the house extensively, but you're
Correct.
not tearing it down, you're not rebuilding.
Correct.
So the front of the house will be where it currently is.
Correct.
And how deep is the porch?
6 feet,
6 feet, and how wide is it?
13 feet.
13 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Excellent. Yourself?
Is there currently any kind of porch there?
There was a small stone front porch projected about 3 feet by, I don't know, why don't I say 6 feet, that
Okay.
we removed.
All right.
Any other questions? All right, is there anyone speaking in favor of this application?
Me?
Is there anyone opposed? No more questions for the applicant. This hearing is closed. Thank you. Mr. Soto.
109 Green Meadow Road. Oh, wrong piece of paper here. (109) Green Meadow Road, I move to approve the request to vary section 4.1.4, front projection to 33.5 feet where 36 feet permitted to construct a front porch, surveyed by P. Stowell, 10/20/25.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion to approve and a second. This house is currently existing. The front corner, the front right corner is already encroaching in the setback. So there's not much to be, there's a lot of space on this lot, but since it's a remodel and not a new build, there's not anything you can do for this. It is what it is. I don't have a problem with it. I appreciate that the applicant scaled it down so that it wouldn't be too intrusive in the setback. And I do believe it's a modest enough size, and you can't change the location of the house as it exists, so I'm okay with this.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts?
I'm fine with it.
The porch, considering what's there now, it seems like a very modest increase. I think it will look better, and I think the project overall, the house is going to look better overall once it's all said and done, porch included.
Okay, great. We will take it to a vote then. Mr. Dubois.
With the motion?
Mr. King.
With the motion.
Mr. Soto.
With the motion.
Mr. Wolf.
With the motion.
And I am with the motion. It passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Good luck with your project.
Any applications for January?
Not so far, which is a little unusual.
And yet, okay, well, our last meeting of the year, nothing yet for January, except Mr. Lynch will be back. Okay, can we have a motion to accept the minutes from November?
I make a motion to accept the minutes for November.
Second.
All approved?
Aye.
Great. Any other updates? All right, well, I would just like to say happy holidays to everyone. Thanks for all your hard work this year. And please join us for a cocktail at Citrus when we're done. All right, motion to adjourn? A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting
Aye.
adjourned.